Hey guys, it's been a while since I recorded a video, but what I wanted to talk about today was Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I was supposed to do a discussion video with Baller VC, but I don't think we could agree on a time, so I decided to make one on my own. Now, this is probably going to be more about the trilogy than just Rise of Skywalker. Personally, did I like the movie? No. I'm not. I'm not in a different field than a lot of people. If I was a lot, okay, I'm gonna be honest. If I would have saw it on Tuesday because it's cheaper on Tuesday, it probably would have been worth the money. Like what? I spent like $14 on a ticket, and then like a regular size popcorn and a soda was like 15. So I spent nearly $30 at the theater, which I think part of the reason why I was really mad when it wasn't good. Now I went into it with all of the spoilers, and I knew I wasn't gonna like the plot. They had Rey essentially just being what she was in the past two movies, just an unstoppable force. Yeah, she had her moments where she was kind of weak in this one, but I felt like, I mean, I may not be the only one that's saying this, there's probably others, but the trailers heavily misled, in my opinion. I don't know if it's really an opinion, but when you look at the trailers, right, especially the last one with Palpatine, it's just straight up, it feels like the trailers, all of that crap was essentially like 3 seconds in the movie, and it wasn't even hype. You get what? The dark side of Rey with the cool little lightsaber that kind of flipped open. That fight was no longer than Vegito Blue versus Zamasu. That shit was like 4 seconds. It was ridiculous. It wasn't even, it was Rey versus Dark Rey, essentially. That's what happened. Absolutely stupid. And then that happens, and then sick. If you went with no spoilers, you're sick. If you somehow went in with no spoilers and without watching the trailer, without knowing anything, 6-7 minutes in, you meet Palpatine. I could be wrong with the time, but you see Kylo Ren kicking ass at the beginning of the movie. That's probably the only ass kicking he's done in this entire series, if I'm going to be honest. And then that happens. He just runs into Palpatine. Palpatine talks about how he's been every voice in his head, which I personally, the last Jedi kind of messed everything up. But a lot of you guys know this already. So Rey is still Rey. She's actually training. Oh my god. She's training under Leia, which was not to be me, but I don't know what the fuck Leia can really teach Rey. Like, Leia wasn't a Jedi. So like that's what the problem I had with The Last Jedi, right? She kind of did that weird shit out of space. It looked cool. It was like in the beginning of the movie. She was like in space, and it was just, I didn't agree with it. This has just been a wonky fucking trilogy. Like, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm a newer Star Wars fan. I don't remember the year Rogue One came out. It may have been 2016, and that was the first ever Star Wars movie I saw. It was Rogue One. Rogue One was the first one. And I thought Rogue One was okay. I didn't care for the love story with these characters because that's kind of what it felt like to me, a fucking love story. And then what saved it was that Darth Vader scene at the end. I think everybody can agree that's at least top 3 with some of the badass moments in Star Wars. So that what made me look at the original trilogy. I watched it, but I didn't really pay much attention. It was like there. I watched it, but I didn't really get a glimpse of everything, a grasp, I should say. And then I saw the prequels, and I cannot stand the prequels. My mind will not change on that. And I wasn't even one of those that just looked it up. I watched all 3 movies, and I was like, bro, how do people like this? Like, I don't. I'm not a fan of Jar Jar Binks. Now, personally, I think it's because that I am older. Because the prequels would have came out the year around the time I was like a kid. So 5, 6, I believe. I could have been younger, but it was around, I was alive when the prequels came out. I see the prequels. I didn't really like them. Jar Jar Binks, I can't stand. I feel like a lot of people need to stop using the argument, it's my childhood, or like, that's what I grew up on. If you have to give me a valid reason why you like the prequels. I personally don't. But we get to this trilogy, and it makes the prequels look like a masterpiece. But this trilogy, they kind of shoehorned, I don't care what anybody says, they shoehorned Palpatine in. A lot of nostalgia, which is a problem that I don't want to say it's a problem, but it can be a problem where J.J. Abrams has done this before. So The Force Awakens, to me, personally, was okay. The Last Jedi was just bad all around. And then this one comes out, and it's my second least favorite in the trilogy. It doesn't beat Force Awakens, which Force Awakens is mediocre. And with this movie, Kylo Ren, to me, should have been more. What's the word? He should have had more. He should have had a bigger role than what he had in Rise of Skywalker. It was essentially just about Rey. And for somebody that's last name is, well, his last name isn't Skywalker, but he's related to a Skywalker, you would assume that he would have a bigger part. Like his mom's a Skywalker. So when you sit here and see Kylo Ren or Ben Solo get his ass kicked by Rey in all 3 movies, for the most part, well, he gets his ass saved in Last Jedi by Rey, and it just doesn't make sense. It's for someone that was trained under Luke Skywalker. I'm assuming he got some type of training with Snoke, even though Snoke is apparently just a clone. He's done a lot, but he couldn't handle Finn, which I'm going to speak about Finn in a second. And Force Awakens, granted, in Force Awakens, well, he was just toying with Finn, but Finn shouldn't even have hit Kylo. But I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. So, Rise of Skywalker, about 6-7 minutes in, you run into Palpatine. He explains like how this has been apparently the plan the whole time. J.J. Abrams talked about bringing Palpatine, that was definitely not the plan. But Palpatine discussed how he wants him to go kill Rey because Rey is so strong, and you know, the typical. And Kylo Ren attempts it, and then Rey ends up saving Kylo Ren, which I do not believe is explained in the movie. I believe it's told that she got it from the book she's always had. I believe she got from like Luke, but I don't believe that was said in the movie, which I will talk about that later, about movies doing that. And when you see Kylo Ren get healed by Rey, you start to realize that he doesn't really want this lifestyle. He's getting, you can tell it's affecting him for some odd reason. To me, I don't like, because then it feels like, sorry, I'm jumping back to The Force Awakens. It feels like him doing all of this was for what? He wanted more power, and like, so he killed his dad, and now he's like trying. It was just weird to me. It feels like he was just doing shit to be. I don't know. It just didn't feel right. So then he, instead of him being Kylo Ren, I still like that name, but now he would be called Ben Solo. So then they have this cool trick that I like, where Kylo, Rey gives Kylo the lightsaber somehow. It was really cool how he did it. But remainder of the movie is basically, to me, it's just way too fast. There's too much going on. The whole backstory with Finn and Poe. They're arguing 88% of the movie. And if I'm going to be honest, not saying none of these actors are bad, but I didn't care for Finn and Poe or Rey at all, if I'm going to be honest. So if I'm just going to try to keep this in the span of like what Rey, because that's basically what this movie's about, is fucking Rey. And so Rey runs into Palpatine. Then Kylo Ren finally catches up after defeating the stormtroopers, I believe he fought. He fought somebody. I forgot exactly. Forgive me if I'm wrong. And Kylo goes ahead and... Well, no, actually, he just kind of pulls up. Now, this was cool. I personally like this. Palpatine had all this strength. Please don't try to power scare this movie. It fucking sucks. But, so Palpatine's like this old dude. He's older than he looked like in episode 6. And he lifts up Rey and Rey and Ben. And he kind of snatches, it seems like somewhere they're like force powers. I don't know what they really described it as. And then he shoots like, I'm assuming, you know, he had like the electric powers and shit, you know. So he shot that straight up in the sky through like the temple they were in, and just kind of jammed everybody. Now somehow it didn't wipe out everything instantly. I don't know how it didn't do that, but it didn't. It looked really cool though. And that's going on, and then Kylo, I think, tries to get up, and he gets fucking tossed into a goddamn hole. Like, that's basically the end for Ben Solo. He does nothing else. After this, Rey's like on the ground talking about help me, and then you hear Ahsoka and some of you guys may have watched the Clone Wars, but Ahsoka, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Mace Windu. You hear all the Jedi essentially, and to be honest, it could have been better. It wasn't executed properly. A lot of people may not even know who Ahsoka is. To be honest, that's probably the best thing about the prequels is Ahsoka. That happens. Go ahead, skip a few seconds later. She gets up and she has, was it Luke's life? She had somebody's lightsaber. And it may have been Anakin's. Forgive me, I only saw the movie once, and that was when it first came out. So I'm sorry, I just know I was going to go see it Tuesday, but I didn't want to hold off on a review anymore. So that happens. Kylo Ren goes ahead and, actually sitting in the hole. What am I saying? Sorry, he's still in the hole. And Rey gets help from the Jedi. And Palpatine starts shooting at her. The same thing he used on Luke. And then in episode 6, the electricity power. And someone's going to kill me in the comments because I don't remember what exactly that's called. Don't judge me. I'm new. And so Rey grabs her lightsaber, it's just deflecting it. It makes no fucking sense because if you didn't see this movie, a few moments ago, this man Palpatine lifted them up like they were nothing. So she's deflecting it with one lightsaber. She takes out Leia's lightsaber, which I didn't even know she had. I could have been wrong. Unless I just watched the original trilogy, as soon as I made this recording, I rewatched the original trilogy again. She takes out another one and deflects it, and it shoots back at Palpatine. Boy, let's take a step back. What pissed me off is Palpatine said, I am the best. He said something similar to Endgame where Thanos was like, I'm inevitable, and and Iron Man's like, I'm Iron Man. It was almost the same thing. It was really bad. I was just like, why? Why would you do that? And then he basically dies almost the same way he did in fucking episode 6 where he kept shooting the damn electricity and he just basically almost electrocuted himself. And then he fucking, this time instead of him being tossed down the fucking reactor, he blows up. Then the end of the movie, Rey's about to die. Kylo comes up and kisses Rey, which by far single-handedly almost made me walk out the theater. Now I'm not with the 1% that thinks Kylo and Rey. I don't care for that. That didn't fit his character at all. And then it felt like fan service. And to make it worse, Ben Solo dies. Yeah, just like that, just passes out after Rey kissed him. He just fucking died. He died to. If you ask me, he died to a kiss. That's how I see that shit is. I'm not gonna lie. That happens, and then she went to go bury Luke's lightsaber. Excuse me, and nothing really. No, some lady walked up to her because early in the movie, someone asked what her last name was. She said, "I don't know," or "I don't have one." And now an old lady asked, "What's your name?" And she said, "Rey." And then the girl said, "What's your last name?" And then she looked up towards the sky, whatever, and she see Luke and Leia, and then you hear Skywalker, Rey Skywalker. That dumb shit happens, and then they have a little celebration, and the movie ends. Now, I don't fuck with it. I don't like it at all. As you see, I briefly went through it. That movie's just toxic. So, we didn't get any Force Ghost, which, to be honest, if I was to go in here with no spoilers, that would have pissed me off a lot more. We got Luke as a Force Ghost, and that was it. This trilogy is, I think, worse than the prequels, but it's right down there. I don't even really know, to be honest. I don't know what I'd rank this, because I don't like episode 1 to me is still the worst one, but this trilogy, I think I'd rather watch the prequels episode 1 than almost any of these other ones, because The Last Jedi, not episode 2, because Force Awakens to me was it was fine for what it was, and then they changed directors, and then Rian Johnson comes in, which personally I liked Knives Out. That's one of my favorite movies this year. And then the Last Jedi was just really fucking bad. Like, it was all over the place. It not ruins, but it puts plot holes in the original trilogy that doesn't need to be there. And then episode 9 comes out with the Rise of Skywalker, and there was no Rise of no Skywalker. Like, the last fucking Skywalker died. Like, well, technically was a Skywalker. He had Skywalker blood in him, and then he dies. It doesn't make sense. My favorite character in this trilogy, though, if I had to say, if I'm going to give it a positive, is Kylo Ren. It's not changing. I'm just not going to lie. It's Kylo Ren. Favorite moment in this trilogy, I would definitely say, so I put it as, I don't know if I have one. I think when they were fighting in Snoke Temple was pretty cool, and I think when Palpatine shot the fucking electricity up in the sky was cool. That was awesome. After that, I don't think I got a favorite moment. I'm trying to think. I'm probably gonna upload this unedited. If anything he made, if I stop for too long, I'll probably edit that part out. But I would say this trilogy hurts Star Wars as a brand. I can't say as a whole. I don't let things fuck with my childhood. Just like if I like a movie, I'm a real big horror movie fan, and a lot of the horror movies that get rebooted suck or have sequels that suck. I don't let that affect what I've watched. I mean, when I was growing up, compared to some people, for some reason, get bothered by it. But when I think about this definitely hurts Star Wars. I think it made a lot of money, but I don't think in the long run it's going to benefit them because it's going to be harder for them to do side stories because people are not going to be invested. And if they're not bringing back characters for the side stories, it's like the fucking Han Solo movie. They had Darth Maul at the end. I didn't even see that movie. And to be honest, when it came on Netflix, not to be disrespectful, I fell asleep on it twice. Now, I know some people like it. I just, some reason, can't finish it. But Rogue One, I think, still has the best fucking Star Wars scene that I have watched. When Darth Vader came in at the end and was trying to get the stuff from the rebellion, and he just came and whipping everyone's ass. That's probably been the best thing for me with Star Wars. Besides the original 3, I like those. Episode 3 to me was fine. I just felt like fucking Anakin and Obi-Wan were fighting for way too long in just obscured places. Like, they were fighting everywhere. Like, you put them on a length of a fucking table, and they were swinging on everything. They were fighting, but it was kind of annoying. It was kind of like, okay, so is this ever, like, how you guys get here at this point? Like, what the fuck is going on? But, for the most part, I think Star Wars is hurt. I think the prequels, now apparently there's a rumor that George Lucas even sold Star Wars because of the backlash he got for the prequels. Obviously, that's just a rumor, but to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me. Because the original trilogy and then everything after that has not met the expectations of the original trilogy. Which I'm not saying, if you make something as great as Star Wars, the 4, 5, and 6, that's very hard to match, right? But at least it could be good. You get I don't even know why he did this, but he went episode 1, which no one really liked. I don't know anybody who likes episode 1. And then you get episode 2, where, like, Anakin is just bitchy. I don't like it. It's just... And I'm not a fan of Jar Jar Binks. I couldn't stand him. So that instantly took me out the mood of the movie anyways. And Anakin was just making irrational decisions. And episode 3 comes around. Execute Order 66. That was cool for what it was. But then Anakin was still, like, being annoying. The fight with Obi-Wan was cool. And, Anakin versus Obi-Wan, sorry. And Yoda versus Palpatine. Even though I think 98% of the Jedi in the prequels was unutilized. They were really, for some things that were said in the original trilogy, how it seems like everybody was, like, really good at, well, whoever was a Jedi, they seemed like that was the end-all kind of thing, right? It was like, we didn't get anything really cool with the Jedi in the prequels, which was kind of annoying. You know, we get the episode 1 had Darth Maul, but then he dies in well, he didn't die, but in episode 1, everybody assumed he was dead. And another thing I have with the prequels is, I'm sorry if I'm going to prequels. I'm going to talk about the prequels, the original trilogy, because it helps you guys understand where I'm coming from. So it isn't just like I only saw this trilogy. The problem I always have with the prequels is, there was way too much backstory and we weren't seeing it, you would just hear him talk about it. It's like, well, that shit sounds better than the fucking movie. If I'm going to be honest, like, that's just really how it felt. And then I've always was told, this is the problem I have. When I watched Marvel for what it was, I didn't have to go pick up a book or a video game in some cases, not with Star Wars with the video games, but I didn't have to go pick up another series, or like, I didn't have to go watch a television show. That was the problem I had with the prequels. It was like, I had to go watch the Clone Wars series just to get a better understanding and have a less annoying Anakin Skywalker. That's what kind of annoyed me. Well, we get Ahsoka, all this cool stuff, but in the prequels, it's like, I don't even know she was mentioned at all. You get Ventress, who's amazing in the prequels. Darth Maul comes back. And it's like all the cool shit happens on that TV show. But in the movies, it wasn't even that good. And the prequels shouldn't... This is a critique that I feel like a lot of people give it, and I'm going to give it to. If you're going to be a prequel, your shit shouldn't look... It should look better, but it shouldn't feel like the technology is way better in the prequels than they do in the original trilogy, if that makes sense. But that's either here or there. But then the prequels come out. I couldn't stand them. And this is like me recently. I saw the prequels in 2017. And then I saw The Last Jedi in theaters. I didn't see Force Awakens in theaters. I saw that on Netflix. And then I saw The Last Jedi in theaters. And then I was told that this was the best Star Wars movie. Then I heard nothing but bad things. Well, I rely on certain people for information. Word of Geekdom's one of them, or Geekdom 101. And then there's like a couple others that I watch, but I mainly watch him. And as some of you guys know, you cannot convince me that The Last Jedi is a good Star Wars movie. If we're going to talk about it in a trilogy, I don't understand how people could like it. You're not going to turn me into believing that it's good. I'm going to be honest. I don't like it. You can't... Star Wars was doing all that extra shit saying, male, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They don't like it because it's a female lead, which is incorrect. I've seen movies called Set It Off. That is a female lead. I saw Alien. Also has a female lead. I saw a bunch of movies with female leads, and for them to just be all like, oh, you don't like it as a female lead or as a female being powerful. No. There's fucking Captain Marvel. I may not be the biggest fan of the movie, but I saw that. I've seen countless movies, if we're going to specifically talk about movies. I may have probably even played games with a female lead. There's no... Alien Isolation is one of them. I don't get where that was coming from with them. Then they show like 3 bad comments saying this is what it is. That's not how that shit works. If you are going... Don't ever... This is something for anybody that's an inspired creator or wants to do something. If something doesn't hit well, you can't blame your audience. Your audience pays your bills. Like, if you're as big as Star Wars, and that one gotta be the case. Your audience is watching you. They don't owe you a damn thing. So if you make something that's not hitting with them, you gotta reflect on yourself. Be like, why didn't this do well? Did I not maybe promote it right? Or maybe I said the wrong things. Maybe my fan base just wasn't interested. You don't ever blame your subs or your fan base. You don't ever say they're not loyal because they don't owe loyalty to anybody. Like, that's just how it is. And that's what Star Wars was doing. And that was really unacceptable. And then the Han Solo movie comes out. I heard it's not bad. I fell asleep on it twice, but let's just go with most people saying it wasn't bad, but it didn't do too well in the box office. Personally, I don't know why they've released it now. I don't get it. I feel like they should have released it either before Force Awakens or right after Force Awakens. I believe it came out after The Last Jedi, then we got this one. And now they're talking about, they kind of threw a little, not Easter, what the fuck's the word? Cliffhanger with Darth Maul's like in the end, and he's talking about the girl, all that extra shit. And I'm not interested. I think Star Wars is hurt as a brand. I don't think I thought at some point Star Wars was like the biggest thing. Even when I wasn't watching Star Wars, I knew what Star Wars was. I believe it was like the biggest thing, and everybody fucking watched it. And now I think you get passed by Marvel. There's a couple things that could come up in past Star Wars, but Star Wars will always sell well because it's Star Wars. And despite how much of a problem this sequel trilogy had, it made a lot of money. So they're gonna make more Star Wars movies. But I do believe they have to sit down, reevaluate what they're going to do, and then maybe take it in a different direction. Personally, I'd rather get side stories of the prequels, even though I just slanted it, or sequel, not like the original trilogy. Oh, but we can't really, because all of like the actors. But if we're gonna do like maybe Darth Vader, right? Be like a side story for him, because I believe we can get somebody to play Darth Vader. I don't know if the guy who still plays him still alive, but that would be cool, right? Get a side story of Vader, Darth Maul. Go to like there's not enough of that, if you ask me. And I've never read like what is it, the EU books? I've never read those, so I have no idea what kind of good or bad they have in there. But I don't think I have anything else to say. Would I recommend, if anybody was to sit down in front of me and be like, Jeremiah, would you recommend this sequel trilogy? I'd tell them no. Don't spend a dime on it. If you even have Disney Plus, don't even bother watching it. That's just my personal opinion. If someone was to say, hey, how do you feel about Rise of Skywalker? I would tell them not to go see it. Maybe on a cheap, when the movie tickets are cheaper on like Tuesdays, at least here in my city it is. It's cheaper on Tuesdays. Go see it. Bring a girl with you. Go have fun. It's one of those, it's not taking itself too seriously. But I would recommend you go see it on Tuesday with some friends. Like, that'd be the only time I'd really recommend this. Would I say step away from the direction they have taken it? Yes. I would say go a whole different direction. Either come up with some new characters and write a better story for the main lead. That'd be number one. The main lead and like this supporting cast has to be better. The supporting cast can't be... You're not going to compete with Luke, Leia, and fucking Han Solo, and Chewie, and R2-D2, and C-3PO. It's not going to happen. No matter what they try to do, it's not going to happen. But you could at least go into mindset saying, we're going to make the best damn Star Wars movie. And 9 times out of 10, it probably won't. But at least I know you're going to give it your best, because I feel like this trilogy was not giving its all. I feel like the third, final movie, The Rise of Skywalker, tried its best, but it just wasn't good. So, this video is about to be like 20-something minutes long, but that's my opinion on Rise of Skywalker. To be honest, it was more about these last goddamn 6 Star Wars movies with the prequels and sequel trilogy, but hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please like and subscribe. Peace.